Welcome to episode 84 of Instant Expertise Marketing. Creating offers that drive results is our superpower, and we've really proven it over the past 35 years. So, today, with that expertise in mind, we are going to dispel a common myth surrounding offers that is once again making the rounds amongst marketers who really should know better.
We didn't know if our approach would translate from business to business early in our career, but it did. And we proved it worked in a broad range of consumer and business to business sectors. Even more impressively, our approach has driven results at every single step of the customer journey. And yes, that is from awareness through advocacy. And when new clients gave us an opportunity to show how we could impact results, that's exactly what we did.
And really, that's all of which is just to say we're well versed in what an offer can and can't do. We live and breathe them every single day. And today we want to talk to you about that in further detail. I'm Yvette Brown, co founder of X Promos. I became an entrepreneur at 23 by starting a promotions agency with my then 29-year-old business partner, Sherry Nomadi.
And I'm Sherry Nomadi. And you know that Yvette and I approach business from opposite ends of the spectrum. But we always come to the same conclusions on how we will help our clients succeed. Today, we're going to talk about short-term offers and how they can deliver long-term branding results.
So let's start out by talking about what these so called marketing gurus are actually saying. Basically, they're saying that short term marketing tactics like offers damage brand value. And just like a guilty pleasure, those offers should only be used and consumed in very small doses.
As you can see or hear, this has riled Yvette up. So much so that today we decided we would cover this topic. We want to share with you the truth. Instead of damaging brand identity, strategically created short-term marketing tactics like signature offers enhance a brand's essence. The right offer moves prospects further along their customer journey towards purchase and advocacy while also enhancing your brand's value.
Well, Sherry, I got to say, you legit summed it up really, really well. But of course, we need to give everyone some of that instant expertise we have by sharing the why. And I think that starts with the brand identity. So, whether you call it the brand identity, the brand essence, the brand value, or branding, it all relates to the promise you make to a customer. It encompasses the entirety of a customer or prospect's experience with a brand. So, specifically, this brand essence includes the brand's entire style guide and the supporting assets that usually an in house team and outside resources like ourselves rely on so that a brand can maintain consistency in the marketplace.
And as you may know, or you probably suspect, there are companies that take their branding very seriously to the extent that they spend millions of dollars developing or even refreshing their brand identity to reflect their value, their personality, and their position in the marketplace. So naturally, protecting that investment, it's expected and respected.
Yeah, very much so. And in fact, many enterprise companies have people who specifically their job is to ensure that campaigns and marketing assets that are built around that framework that they've provided align with that brand guide. Getting those assets approved by the brand police, we can tell you from experience, sometimes requires several rounds of discussion and negotiation to get where you need to be.
So protecting the brand is essential because delivering a consistent messaging and look in the marketplace is vital. And with the virality of social media posts, the amount of user generated content and review sites alone, enforcing the brand standards has really become a job that requires constant monitoring and enforcement strategies.
Yeah, absolutely true. Brand support and protection has changed tremendously over the course of our careers. But that being said, it leads to the question, why do marketers worry so much about short-term tactics? Like, what do they have against offers and incentives? Well, it's really kind of a complex answer that we're going to attempt to distill down for you now into the highlights. So, first of all, like Sherry indicated, brands do spend millions of dollars developing these standards. And, so much effort goes into getting these things right. And, just like when anybody puts a lot of effort into anything, people don't like other people messing with their stuff, right? And, oftentimes you'll see a CMO come in and one of the first things they'll do is, revamp the brand look and the website, right? Because it's kind of, it just happens a lot. And, once they do that, that highly visible change becomes part of their identity, whether that's good or bad. So protecting that is kind of a big deal.
And branding people, we know, are very protective, and they should be.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the problem. Okay. If you want to get attention, you have to be disruptive, right? People aren't going to notice your offer if it looks exactly like all your other branding. If it blends in, that's a problem because if people don't notice it, they're not going to take action. They're never going to get that far. So while we in our role need to be disruptive, brands want to stay the course. And this, my friends, is the first obstacle we have to overcome.
Yeah, we find that marketers feel fear that a short term tactic will dilute the brand identity, either through its inconsistency of look or even worse, lowering the perception of the brand overall. And the fear is that the sales teams and customers are going to get hooked on discounts or coupons, and then they'll no longer respond unless there's a deal to be had. We had a client one time, and he used to rail against rebates because he would say, and we quote, retailers and customers just get hooked on the drug and then they can't get off of it.
That's exactly right. Um, and, yet we would be remiss to not say that discounts absolutely have a place in the marketing mix. They can be very effective when they're used strategically. Now, for us, we often prefer to add more perceived value to an offer as opposed to lowering the price, but sometimes it's necessary and it just becomes part of the mix.
And guys, we cannot argue with the masters of couponing. I'm sure you've heard of the likes of P&G and Kroger, and they are masters at this. They know how to use coupons strategically so that it drives results in very specific situations. And they accurately predict outcomes that will deliver offers accordingly. So consumers don't think any less of Tide or Pampers or even Crest just because they put a coupon into the marketplace.
Yeah, it's a really great example of that on the consumer side for sure. And so, yet another big fear of marketers is really about defending resources. As
Mhm.
as we all know, budgets are finite, and some marketers fear that prioritizing short term marketing tactics will impact their own resources that are earmarked for long term sustainability and deeper customer engagement. We have been amidst some of these turf wars for sure. And, to be fair to the branding folks, long term initiatives don't deliver immediate results. So they can be harder to defend, especially in when you're facing challenging economic conditions.
And we know that short term marketing tactics get a bad rap. They just do. We're the
They do.
stepchild. We've seen it firsthand in this business now for over 35 years. In the marketing hierarchy of things to do, those of us who create these types of programs that move the needle, we're never at the top of the pyramid.
Nope, never.
Many organizations see short term marketing tactics as a necessary evil to pull out of the toolkit to push the team across the finish line at the end of a quarter. Yet, when these campaigns are built strategically, like with a signature offer, they drive short term results and they build long term brand equity.
And that's really the point. We don't believe that offers should be seen as a necessary evil. Marketers don't have to compromise. You can have your cake and eat it too when you build a signature offer.
So, how about a couple of examples? If you don't believe us yet,
Yet.
we did a buy one, get one free program with Mattel Toys. It was for one of their large doll brands called Magic Nursery. And this was around the holiday timeframe. And it was one of those times when our client desperately needed to clear out the inventory before the end of the year. And this offer did exactly that. Yes, it was extreme and a deep discount, but instead of hurting the brand, it actually saved this brand.
Mhm.
You see, Magic Nursery had run its course, and retailers were ready to almost say goodbye. But the weak Q4 sealed the deal under the offer because we cleared out all the inventory, all the warehouses, and retailers got excited again about the brand and they bought deep into the line the coming year and the line extensions thereafter.
Yeah, and so when you look at this program as an example, yes, this program changed the retailer's perception. Based on the buying cycles at retail, they were ready to say, no, the brand's not coming back next year and that's it. But
Mhm.
instead, that all changed. So for this program, they were able to look at the ROI, not just in what happened then, where they literally, gave away product, but rather what those subsequent years of support looked like. And that was absolutely a positive ROI that kind of nobody expected. That promotion, like Sherry said, really did save the brand. So that's an example where we're going to chalk one up for short-term marketing tactics. But, that's not all. We have another example. This isn't ours. This is one from Topps, the baseball company that makes baseball cards. It's been around forever. Well, a couple years ago, they celebrated their 70th anniversary with a tactic that actually supported the destruction of their product branding, something that, the brand police would probably really freak out about, right? What Topps did
Totally.
is they commissioned a diverse group of creators. I mean, we're talking tattoo artists, muralists, graphic designers to come in and reimagine some of their most iconic sports cards from over this 70-year period. So these artists then painted, they sketched, they doodled, and they edited these cards to reflect their own personal style. Now, then Topps took these new designs and they released them, to customers a few at a time. They basically did small batches of cards that were offered for a limited time only online. And when you bought and, got them back in the mail, it came in a fancy acrylic holder and a special envelope. And, they really made it special. Okay. But let's think about it. What they really did is they took their old iconic card design, gave it to a tattoo artist to do their thing and their look to, and then they came back and they're like, whoa, okay. And I guess we'll print some of those and send them out. That's
Yep.
pretty risky if you're the branding folks. They're probably losing their mind a little bit over that. But what happened
Yeah.
is that this short-term marketing tactic actually reinforced the Topps legacy, right? Because they were able to bring back these iconic cards and, show what this would look like reimagined with these artists of today. And those artists of today helped create a new audience and attract a new audience for Topps. It made them relevant again. And this collaboration of sports and art absolutely enhanced their brand identity, right? And you can find these limited edition cards resold on the secondary market today. They've
Hmm.
Many of them have greatly exceeded their initial purchase value. And as a result, they've also raised the conversation about Topps, the OG card maker, during a period when there are multiple manufacturers in the marketing mix. You know, Topps may at that time not necessarily have been seen as particularly innovative, and boy, they changed everybody's mind about that. And if that's not, enhancing brand identity, I don't know what is.
Absolutely. Great example. I love it. And as you guys can see, what makes these programs so special is that they were built strategically. They infused that immediate purchase urgency with an offer that reinforced and supported the brand identity. These aren't necessary evils. These are what we call enhancements to the brand.
Absolutely. And, in order to do a signature offer and make this work, you first have to have confidence both in your
Mhm.
brand and your team's ability to believe that short-term marketing tactics can enhance the customer experience, not detract from it. Like getting over that
Mhm.
mindset is kind of step one. And once you overcome that hurdle, it's time to level up your offers. Take it from a tactic to a strategy. You can do that by building incentives that align with and reinforce your brand promise. Then you want to make the ask align with the rewards and make it interactive and engaging, because that's what consumers are looking for. Now, as you hopefully know, we covered the anatomy of an offer in our last few podcasts. We talked about the 4 pillars that are all necessary.
Mhm.
If you don't remember or you didn't hear it, go back and check those out.
We've been fortunate enough to see some of our offers become infused into clients as an evergreen program and a reoccurring program in their marketing mix. Some of these have lasted as long as 15 to 20 years.
Legit.
Now, that, my friends, is a testament to what a strategically sound signature offer can do for your brand.
Exactly. There's no way you run a program for 20 years if it's hurting your brand. It's just not going to happen. So, we believe that it is time to dispel the myth that short term marketing tactics can hinder a brand. Aside from the obvious difficulty of proving that connection, the only offers that we believe can hurt a brand are those ones that are bad or lazy offers that weren't
Mhm.
created with the brand identity in mind. They were kind of slapped together and got out there at the last minute and hoping they would bring in some revenue. That's not the way to build it. That's the problem. This happens when people try to shortcut the work that you need to do to create a signature offer.
So, guys, help us dispel the myth. Create short term offers with your brand in mind. Make sure that it connects with your audience and that it reinforces what your brand stands for. And maybe you too will discover a very overperforming offer that you can make evergreen in your marketing mix.
We would love that. And, if you're still not sure and you'd like to have us help you create your very own signature brand offer, reach out to us at xpromos.com. And until next time, thanks again for tuning in. Do not forget to like and subscribe because we love having you here.